This is Foxboro's Fortress, your home for all the latest on the New England Revolution. Brought to you by Leading Lights, LLC. Hello and welcome back everyone to Foxboro's Fortress, your home for all the latest on the New England Revolution. I'm Cecil Kenney.
And I'm Raphael Babchuck. And we've got former FC Dallas, Orlando City, and Canadian international forward Tesho Akindele on the other side. Say hi.
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me. Excited to be here.
Yeah.
Man.
So today we will break down the disappointing 2-1 loss to Inter Miami and result versus Austin. Not the result we wanted again. We'll look ahead to the Red Bull game and the Orlando City game. Big thanks to our sponsor, Leading Lights LLC, for sponsoring this video. More on that later. For now, let's dive into that disappointing loss versus Messi in Miami. Versus Messi and Miami.
In Foxborough.
Yeah.
There we go. All right. We had the same lineup as per usual, but Chunkle re-entered the lineup. I did want to ask you, Tesho. I know you had a pretty good playing career, and played at Gillette a fair few times. What's it like playing on the turf there?
I mean, personally, I didn't mind turf that much, but I grew up in Colorado, so I mean, I guess it's similar to New England where it snows in Colorado, so we played on a lot of turf fields, honestly, growing up even. So to me, it was never that much of a big deal. And it's, I mean, like turf just gets better and better, you know. So I think Foxborough was like fine turf, but I mean, some like Portland, I remember that their turf, it's really nice, you know. Like it sucks to slide tackle. I wouldn't want to be a defender on it, but as a
Yeah.
forward, like I don't mind turf that much. Uh, so but I think I'm in the minority there. I think most people hate turf. I don't know if they really hate it though, or they just like to complain about something, and turf is something
Yeah.
easy to throw under the
Sometimes I
bus.
think they prefer grass more than turf,
Yeah.
so they'll just never like it.
Yeah, I mean, a good grass field is the best, you know, but
Yeah.
I've been on some fields, even in MLS sometimes when the grass is bad and like the good thing about turf is it's consistent at least. You know, like it's not as good as the best grass fields, but it's much better than a bad grass field.
Oh yeah. I feel like for me at least, the ball I used to play, the ball always just glides nicer on turf. It's just that I don't know what material it is, but it's like some sort of like plastic. It just
Yeah,
like kind of glides better than others. Um I do prefer grass though. It's
yeah,
just
for sure.
it's in my opinion just better.
Yeah.
Um yeah, so Messi scored twice, and
Yeah.
that first goal was really upsetting to watch.
It was upsetting to watch from a Revs fan, from a Tanner Beeson fan, from, even a Messi fan. All because, yeah, honestly, it was a great finish, first time finish. Terrible decision by Tanner Beeson to head that back. Even from the young age, all the coaches, all they say is up the side, never in the middle. And then, sacrificing a mistake like that early in the game really hurts our momentum. And then Miami ends up scoring a second, and can't really jump back in this game.
Yeah, we couldn't just like, I feel like I was watching that game, and especially from a former goalkeeper perspective, I saw Ivicic's diving was not great at all. I feel like he hops up and then drops, which is not how I was taught, but I don't know what they're doing, the professionals, so
I think, you know, on that goal, they kind of were trying to play it out of the back instead of just smashing it out of the back. And so like and Messi scored. And you saw it this last week against where I think they were playing Nashville. Miami's playing Nashville. Goalie gave the ball to Messi. Messi scores. Yeah,
No,
honestly, I think like playing out of the back, it's gone too far, you know? Like the defenders and the goalies, they're not there to pass the ball. Like they're there to stop goals. And I think they can play out of the back when it works, but I don't know. Way more often, people should just be smashing the ball out, in my opinion. So you see it way more often nowadays when goalies are giving the ball straight to strikers and a goal, or defenders trying to play out, you turn it over, goal. So I think more people should just be
yeah,
the message is just smash the ball.
yeah.
100% agree with that statement right there. I mean, that's like the defenders have so much extra work to do along with the keeper. You can't just like be safe. You have to be good on your feet. And it's just really hard, especially on the defenders and I want to say the goalkeepers. But that goal in particular, we gotta be better with that. We gotta also be aware that we have, in my opinion, the greatest player to ever play the game on the other side of the pitch, and he has great ball, IQ and knowledge of the game, and he's gonna see things. So when we play that ball back, he was ready for it, and now we want to see.
I thought you were gonna say Tanner Beeson, that best player to say to play the game. I thought you were gonna say Tanner.
Oh no, no, he is really good, but that play did not show my confidence in him. Didn't really, yeah,
Yeah,
not what we want to see.
second goal was probably savable. But by that point,
Yeah,
Messi,
by that point, I mean it's messy. So
yeah, Messi 2 goals, first half over 2-0, and it is
yeah,
upsetting. It's
so
just
another he scored. He has I remember from last season he had I forget how many goal contributions against us, but like I think he had five in the game he played in Foxboro, and he just had two goals, another brace. I think he had a brace. As we're recording this on Saturday, he had another
Like
one.
5 games in a row.
Yeah,
He scored
so
goals.
some crazy
Insane.
stats. He is
Yeah.
just he's just insane.
that's incredibly impressive. More than one goal contribution in 5 straight games is crazy.
It is. It is.
The um the Revs then scored with Carlos Seal. We thought we could have had life. Um, it wasn't a bad goal.
No.
Carlos Hill does Carlos Hill things and was just phenomenal. But then Messi was Messi, did Messi things. So unfortunate loss in Foxborough there. I just I'm moving on my one good, one bad, and I don't see anything good that came out of that. Like our guys didn't get rest midweek. We lost. We played poorly. There's not a lot going for us in that game. Ref, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think one good. I'll still go. Carlos Hill still, scoring a goal. So I think there's always some good, even if we do score a goal. I thought it was a good goal. By his standards, not amazing, but I thought it was a pretty good goal. Um, but yeah, I mean, in terms of like our bad, I think our performance as a team was bad. I mean, I don't really, bad's kind of not a good word to describe, anything really. But if you want to sum up our performance that game, I would use the word bad because it was not what you want to see and something, pretty disappointing. And my bad is we got to work better as a team and not just play individual ball, think about ourselves, but we got to think about the team as a whole and our players.
Yeah, what do you think, Tesho?
I think you guys are being a little too harsh. I mean, you guys had some chances, and I think throughout the season it looks like you guys aren't scoring many goals, but you guys are creating some chances. You guys there's players like Campana, for example, who like he can score goals, and he just kind of hasn't been. But even in that game versus Miami, he had a few good chances. And so I think there's like a nugget of something there that at least you guys aren't just getting like no shots, no attempts. Like the chances are there, and so I think the finishing will come kind of with confidence, with momentum for some of those guys. But to me, I think it was a little bit better than you. I think you guys are making the scene. Don't be too down on the team and
Yeah.
on yourselves.
Yeah, I do like that point. Earlier on in the year, we could not get a chance.
Yeah.
Now we are getting chances.
Yeah. We had that good form. We were really well. And then we came. And then we played what Cincinnati, and that started. I don't think we've won a game since that game. Ever after I think it was Toronto. So I mean, it's been pretty poor recently, and it's getting fans like us, to be more aggravated at results that yeah, it's Inter Miami. I think that's probably the best team in the MLS when they're all playing at their best. So yeah, Inter Miami is a great team, but I feel like we have those chances, and I want those finishes to come, but they gotta happen. If not, we're not gonna make the playoffs, and that's the push I want us to make this season.
yeah, I'd really love playoffs, to be completely honest.
Yeah,
Yeah, I missed the playoffs. Um, I completely forgot to say what my bad was. Well, we didn't win, and then I also thought, um, that it was a semi. It was like compared to last year, it was 40,000-ish crowd. It seemed like more, but it seemed like a smaller-ish crowd than I expected, and then what many other expected. Because like Gillette capacity is 66, I think. But I think we were all expecting more because it is messy. But I feel like the Revs they tried to hype it up right at the end, and it just didn't go as well as they expected, and so they just it didn't get promoted nearly enough as we wanted it to. And so it ended up being just kind of like we didn't win. Um, but obviously you're expecting a ton of Mets fans, and there was a ton of pink in that stadium, which as a Revs fan was not too pleasant when
Yeah.
the home when you're like instead of the away corner you're supposed to have, you are the away corner in your own stadium, and the rest of the stadium is pink. So
Yeah.
um Tesho, I know you played against Inter Miami quite a few times, playing for Orlando, especially during that rivalry. What was that like?
Yeah, so I was there right before Messi was there, so I feel like it's Inter Miami 2.0 now. But it was great. I mean, I like playing down there in South Florida. They have a exciting stadium even where they're at in Fort Lauderdale right now, and so I'm excited to see the new one. They have lots of momentum, so yeah, my I feel like just a great addition to the team or to the league, Miami, and then just seeing like the guys obviously signing all these guys from Barcelona. Um, and it looks like they might sign another Argentinian international player here soon. So I just feel like they're pulling the league up, And even like you said with the stadium being pink in New England. Yeah, it's a bummer obviously to see that in your own stadium, but like those are maybe new soccer fans and Messi's not going to be around forever. But what are those people going to do? Hopefully even if 10% of them become like regular New England Revs fans, it's good for soccer in the US. It's good for soccer in New England just to have 40,000 people come out to a game on a just on a random night. So I think like Miami has been really positive for the league.
Yeah, definitely. It's been a welcome addition. I have fought up games of quite a few games that you played in. The last time you played against Inter Miami, they did demolish you, but bright side, Leo Campana scored. So that's all good.
Hopefully we see more of that for us.
He might have scored. That might have been the one when he scored like 30 seconds into the game,
Yeah,
honestly. Yeah,
first
he
minute.
might. I think, yeah, he scored from like 40 yards out or something. I don't remember what happened. We passed the ball back and he chipped our keeper from like 40 out. So he's a really good player. And I think he hasn't really found his form yet in New England, but he's a really good player. And he's a hard worker too. Like even the fact that he was able to play so much and score so much in Miami with a lot of competition, he'll find his way. This league too, like I think something the fans don't appreciate is how much of this league is driven by like the internal culture of a team. And so like and momentum, because in all the teams are pretty much skill wise like about equal. You eventually have some Miamis that are way above, but most teams are pretty equal. And it's just about momentum. Like, are people happy in the field? Do they feel confident? Is their coach giving them confidence that they can score goals and they can play and be free? And so that's to me, like watching New England, what they're missing is like it feels like the culture is off a little bit and the momentum's off. So they need something or somebody to spark them back in a positive way. Because the players are there. You guys have good players. But it's just the culture. I forget what year was it, like 2022 when you guys were just winning the Supporter Shield and stuff like
21,
that?
Yeah.
yeah.
21, yeah. The culture was unreal. Like, and just like I guess now the word is aura. Like the aura that team stepped on the field with was like, I remember in that year, 2021, we were beating them 2-0 at home, 80 minutes. They subbed on like Hill and Brandon By and then Buchanan or whatever. And then you guys beat us. That they just had good, like good vibes. So I think that's what your team is missing more than like the players is just the kind of culture of winning and kind of the confidence that comes with winning.
Yeah, definitely. Um,
I agree. I think the bad form kind of also does stem off, our whole situation with, Bruce Arena and how we handled that, and then bringing in new coaches and new managers and different managerial staff. So I think 100% we do need to gain that, form back and, gain back, the spark in New England because I remember I went to the game where we lifted the supporters shield. I was at that game. Stadium was, way more packed than it was now. So, the better the fans get into it, the better the players play. And the better the players play, the more fans come in the stadium. So we have to show support so they can back. So if we back them, they can back us.
That honestly too, that's very underrated because like when I used to play, people will like obviously, you guys have this podcast and people talk about the games and players see some of it, but when people will like direct message you that you suck or something, and as a player, like that does you do hear that and feel that, you know? And so like I'm always shocked at how many fans will like direct message or like tag their own players saying that they suck. And I'm like, how is that going to help this guy score more goals with like 50 people after the game or 1,000 people, you know, tweeting at him that he sucks? So like the fans actually can play a role in like lifting the team up, you know, because there's so many people out there. If you can set the tone of positivity, which is hard to do, but you know, it's the only thing you can do. You're supposed to be a fan. You're supposed to like be the ones lifting up the team, not only a critic. You know, you got to hold people responsible, but also be a supporter, not just a critic. I think you guys so far are doing a good job of that, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Um, I personally like, I don't, I'm gonna add on to that. These players, although they're not active on these like social channels because they're, their jobs are to put their head down, work hard, play some good football. Um, and but they are on these social channels, and some that many people that I've talked to, um, they tweet out. I've seen people tweet out at them, not expecting anything, but like you said, these players are seeing that people are tweeting out at them that they're bad, that they suck, and it's just like that's not that is not helping them in any way. And I don't know what you gain from that other than no, I can't think of anything that you actually gain from that other than, now your team is shoot another person. Like,
Yeah. And for me, like, I think it's fine. Like, part of being a professional soccer player is like you sign up to do this public job that people can like comment on your performance. And to me, it's fine. Like, if people say Tesho did good or Tesho did bad, for example, is fine. But I think less people should be like tagging a player when they say they do bad. Like, say they did bad is fine. Be like, I'll use Carlos Hill because he's your best player, but be like, Carlos Hill sucks. Like, just say that, but don't like direct message it to him or tag him in the post. You know, it
yeah,
seems like there's no reason to be doing stuff like that.
yeah. There's that's not you shouldn't be doing that with your time.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't gain anything, and it's a bad look, and it's not what you want to see. Um, moving on to some stats here. I have former Revs Miami. Like you said, excuse me. We had chances. We had more expected goals than them. Sure, we didn't win the possession battle. We had more shots. We had more shots on target. We had 5 corners. We had these chances, and we scored 1 goal. The XG kind of shows that, but 16 shots and 1 goal.
Yeah. When you're looking at that, I mean, it shows that, we have the output. I mean, like our players are going at it. We just have to work, on our finishing and, just gain that confidence, get a couple victories, Like we're gonna talk about the games that we're up next, but like Red Bull and then obviously versus Orlando. Like if we get like solid results there, it's just gonna help our team more and more. And I think we need that because we had great form and then we just started going down and down. And I think we need to hit that again, get confidence back in the players, confidence back in the fans and in the team.
Yeah. I went to the Minnesota United game yesterday. I'm in Minnesota currently. Um, and so we were watching. They were playing San Jose, Revs on the West Coast. And they started out hot. They started out well, and then they've kind of regressed, is a good word for that. Regressed and just like to where they were to more where they should be. Because last year they were a worse team in MLS. This year they're in a playoff position, and so I don't think they'll make the playoffs. They're going to regress to a point where they're not in the playoffs. But I think more of the same can be said for the Revs, but in a different way. Revs were bad last year. Revs are still not great this year. And in both seasons, we had a period of time where we were doing really well. I don't remember when it was last year, but we had a period of time when we were doing really well and we just couldn't do anything there. And
Yeah.
and now we did the same thing. We did well and then we couldn't build off. And we have now slumped back. Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
It's
Agreed. Get back in form. 100%.
San Jose is a good example of what I was talking about with momentum and culture. Like Bruce Arena, he's over there, and he honestly he's like the most culture coach. I never worked with him, but from what I hear, he's not very like tactical in terms of what he's telling players, but he just kind of sets a positive vibe. And when you see it at San Jose, a team that's been bad for a long time, he came there and they're doing better. New England, he was at New England helping New England be like the best that they had been in a long time. So I think it kind of shows you how you can set the tone of like a winning culture, a happy culture, and how it makes a big difference, because with a lot of the same players.
Yeah, I'd love to hear what Caleb Porter is doing in the Revs locker room. Like you said, like Bruce Arena's I like just more like a vibes guy. He's not too tactical. Whereas I want to see what Caleb Porter is, if he's how tactical he is, whether or he's just like a vibes guy, just like, hey, go out there play some good soccer. Um, yeah,
Yeah. 100%. I want to get into my man of the match of the game because I still think Carlos Hill scored the goal. He brought us some momentum, even though we couldn't capitalize, score another goal, maybe get a draw in the game versus Miami. But I still think he was our best player in that game, easily.
yeah. I got no one else but Carlos. Alison Yusuf, I'll talk about a little bit later. He was good, but Carlos Hill was definitely my man of the match. He's been unreal for us this year. Um, and
Yeah,
yeah, Tesha, what you got?
I'll give it to Campana because he created a decent amount of chances, so he didn't get a goal, but I think it's coming for him. I feel like that dam is going to break soon, and he'll start
yeah,
scoring some goals here.
Yeah, for Campana, he's always getting to his really good spaces, and he does all the stuff that we want him to do, and he just isn't scoring. Only really downside to him, yes, it's a striker when not scoring is kind of downside, but if you're getting into these good places and you're just doing all this well, it has to come eventually, right?
Yeah, the goals will come for sure. They'll come.
it does.
Yeah, I'm gonna push over to Austin right now. For our lineup, Peyton Miller picked up an ankle injury, which is really unfortunate. Eli Feingold also out with an ankle injury. So
Yeah.
fullbacks are suffering, which is really unfortunate, and they're both ankle injuries.
Yeah, maybe the way we're playing them, because they're both, playing more attacking now. After we changed the formation, when we had changed it to a three in the back, they were playing more attacking. Maybe that's playing some, difference in them. I think there's kind of a coincidence that they both pick up an ankle injury. I hope they get back soon. Soon, I know Peyton Miller's probably gonna get back later than Eli Feingold as he got injured after. But around the same time, they've been playing kind of, the same, just on different sides of the pitch. But it's good to get Will Sands a start. I think he's also pretty underrated in my opinion.
Yeah, he definitely he hasn't gotten the shots, but we also have two very good fullbacks ahead of him, along with Brandon By. So he just hasn't really gotten those shots and chances to play.
Yeah,
But 0-0 in that game. It's kind of frustrating to watch. I was up late watching it after the Minnesota United game. So that was just a frustrating game to just watch in general. Um,
yeah. I saw the game. I thought it was pretty disappointing from I think both teams. If you're an Austin fan or you're a Revs fan, you never want to see a nil draw. But I mean, it wasn't a bad performance from the Revs. We couldn't finish. I don't think it was a terrible performance by us. I just think we got to get the ball in the net, and that's the most important part.
yeah, I thought we played really well actually. We just couldn't score. Which although it's the goal, hey,
Yeah,
we're doing better than, prior. And I thought I'm gonna jump right into this. Luca Langoni was on fire yesterday.
yeah, he was. He was playing very well.
I thought he was playing amazing. Um, 8.15 mob score. He hit the woodwork at one point. It's just like last game where he almost scored and he just puts it wide. Same thing this time, only he hits the post. He almost had two yesterday. Um, I thought he was amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah. My good is that we looked and played well, and Luca looked like a completely different player. Now that he's getting those chances to start, and now that he's, although he hasn't played, adapted to this like Revs system. that, wasn't suited for him when it first got implemented. Now that he's been coached under it for 2 months ish.
Yeah. He
Um,
hasn't really been getting the starts, but recently he has. He's been playing better. Hopefully he can score. I know he scored versus Portland. We still ended up losing that game. Hopefully he can score goals. We end up winning. Get more confidence in our attackers because that's what we need.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, Tesha, I got a question. For you as an attacker, um, what helped you as like motivation and like not just motivation, you just said a word and I'm now blanking on it. Um, what'd you say?
Confidence or momentum or something like that.
Yeah, there you go, momentum.
Yeah.
Um, what helped you get that going, in your career?
I think some of it is like at some point a coach needs to pick like who are his guys and just give those guys a leash, you know? And what that does though is it gives some guys more confidence and then it also kind of if you're not one of those guys, it does suck for you because you're kind of fighting uphill. But that like for example, that happened to me my first year in Orlando. The coach was just like kind of no matter what, I'm gonna play you. You know, if you score this game or you don't score, you're gonna play next game. And just like knowing that gave me freedom of like, okay, if I do miss this chance, it's not the end of the world. Whereas if you don't feel like you have like a little bit of a leash, like a little bit of room to make a mistake, and you're like, man, if I make a mistake, I might be benched next game. When the chance comes, you're nervous, you know? And so I think like just some consistency in the lineup can be helpful for people and just like the coach really like betting on his guys. And then also, you know, if the team does lose or somebody does miss a chance, like just making sure that nobody from another player or the coaching staff or whoever is like pointing fingers or throwing anyone under the bus in public. Obviously behind the door, like people get called out in film sessions and all this, but like in public, it should be like zip your lips, you know, like don't throw anybody on the team under the bus. So I think those two things, like just all full confidence from the coach and then just making sure like whatever is being said in public is not pointing the fingers at anybody.
Yeah, I really like that point. I feel like for the Revs, I feel like that's been a portion of issue. Because we obviously have Gonigo who's now injured. We've had Chunkly back for a bit. Campana, Luca, Rudy, and Diaz. We've had these guys, and we've run with so many different combinations up front that it's been, I think, from what you just said, it would be really hard for me, at least as a player, to get momentum rolling if we're running with a different strike partnership just about every game. Um,
Yeah,
so
it's hard to find the form and consistency. Have to agree with that. Both the statements made right now. I mean, you need to find a lineup. You got to stick with that lineup. You keep changing the lineup. It's not going to be good for the players, and it's not going to be good for again. I keep bringing up the fans. It's not going to be good for the fans. You know, if your favorite players, you don't know if they're playing every game. You don't know if you want to, go to the game, support the team. So like, it really we need to get a lineup. We got to play them unless we got injury. Just play them, keep on going, and that's how things end up clicking. So yeah,
yeah. Um, Stats, Austin beat us on possession. They beat us on XG by a bit. But I thought for me personally, I thought we had more chances than Austin. They definitely had their fair share. I think one of those chances definitely was that like Maito Zuni chance. Um, for me, he's been a big disappointment this year, though. Big money move from Spain, now going to Austin with Brandon Vasquez, and 1 goal, 1 assist in 17 games as a striker who was brought in for big money.
yeah,
It's not great to see, but the Revs are experiencing somewhat of the same with, we didn't bring Ganago in for big money, but we brought him in on loan with an option to buy Campana. So we brought these guys in and they haven't scored, which
yeah.
seems,
But the
uh,
goals we've been wanting them to score.
yeah,
Um, Hopefully they adapt quick and because I'd love if Gonigo, plays more. Keep him on the team. Same Campana. I don't want Campana gone. I thought that was a great signing and we didn't get him. Just keep giving him chances. But he's gotta do something with those chances. That's for sure.
yeah, 100%.
But 100% thought we played better through that game.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was, we played much better than we had been. We just kind of got unlucky with our chances,
right.
and how we didn't score. Um, but that is a good sign of, growth, development. We're doing better now. Oh,
Yeah,
so it's not that bad. Um,
100%.
yeah, I'm gonna jump right into my man of the match. I spelled his name wrong, or no, you spelled his name wrong. Um,
I did spell his name wrong. You're
yeah,
right.
I
Um,
have Luka Lingoti as my man of the match. I thought he was very straightforward. He played great. Um, he was probably my favorite, the best player on that pitch for me. Other than the Austin keeper who played really well. Um, I do have Yusuf as my honorable mention again because he had some shots this game. He had some chances, and he hasn't got those chances before, and he's also very consistent always. So I feel like it's very
yeah,
hard.
100,
He
agree. He's always the one, most consistent player, I feel. Yeah, 100%.
he
Just
doesn't.
agree with that. My man of the match is, I didn't spell Langoni wrong. I spelled Aliaji, which is just wrong. But, I thought he was my man of the match. Um, I mean, seeing the game, nil draw, clean sheet, always good for a keeper. And, I thought he made some great saves. So just want to give him man of the match. And, I forget the stat, but I heard it. He started, I think, like 50 plus straight games for us. So, props to him.
It's not a bad track record as a keeper.
Yeah.
Tesho, who's your man of the match?
I think I'll give it to Youssef, like you said, a 0-0 draw. Like a lot of times it's hard to notice the defensive midfielders. I was just looking it up right now, though. There's this quote, it's about Busquets, and it's like if you watch the game, you don't see Busquets, but if you watch Busquets, you see the whole game. And I feel like it's very true of a lot of defensive midfielders that like a guy like Youssef, he's not gonna ever score like a lot of goals for you guys, and that's not really what he's there for. But I bet if more fans like we're like, all right, I'm going to watch this guy for 10 minutes. People would be impressed at what the defensive midfielders are doing because they're like the maestro of everything. They're like the release valve from the back. They're really the first line of defense. They're like the first defender in front of all the other defenders. So, and you're right, like he's been so consistent for you guys, in what's been kind of up and down season. So I think he deserves his flowers.
It's been the one consistent and inconsistent season.
Yeah. Langoni too. Where's he from? He's from, did he just come from Argentina?
Yeah, last year winter window, I think.
Yeah.
No,
So
he's our
like
highest transfer record.
a lot of times, people underestimate how tough it is. Like this guy comes from Argentina to go to New England, and he practicing and playing out in Foxboro. Like it's a whole different world. I don't know what his family's like, but like if he has kids, if he has a wife, like he might be away from them. He's in a place where the language is different. So it's tough sometimes to move all the way across the world and be expected to perform right away. But Cecil, you said he looked good in that game too. And so I think I expect him to like start getting going because he seems like a really good player as well.
Yeah, brought in for like Raphael said, record New England Revolution transfer record. Um, he knows where the back of the net is. And why else would we buy him for a record transfer if he isn't going to perform? So he has
Yeah,
to coming soon. Raph, you got anything else to add?
that is it.
All right, Tesha, you got anything else to add for this half?
No, no, that's great.
All right, I'm going to send it over to Leading Lights LLC, our sponsor of the podcast. Unlock the power of your platform data with Leading Lights, experts in transforming raw numbers into compelling benchmarks. Leading Lights helps a variety of companies turn insights into engaging stories that drive growth. Elevate your brand with data-driven content that captivates your audience and sets you apart from the competition with Leading Lights. Visit their website at leadinglights.io to see how you can transform your platform data. Hello and welcome back, everyone, to Foxboro's Fortress, your home for all the latest on the New England Revolution. Again, I'm Cecil Kenney, Raphael
And
Babchuck,
I'm Raphael Babchuck.
and then Tesho Akindele on the other side of this three-person Zoom call. Let's move into that Red Bull match. Look ahead. Um, they've been they started with an opening loss to Cincy, went four matches unbeaten, lost 2-1 to your New England Revolution, um, like one does.
Yeah,
Um, two matches unbeaten, then a loss, and then it's kind of been the same all season. Inconsistent. They haven't really picked up form in this season since like that four-match unbeaten streak. They've been like win two, draw one, lost one, lose two. Like they've just been inconsistent and they haven't been able to pick up form. And then they also haven't won again in since May 31st, like the Revs. Um, with them having to postpone their U.S. Open Cup clash to Philly due to weather. But then they also played Philly on Saturday and lost 2-0. Speaking of Open Cup, though, um, from 2019, June 19, 2019, Tesho Akindele scored the winner against the New England Revolution in the U.S. Open Cup round of 16 in extra time. Um, although Justin Rex scored at the 117th minute. Michel and Akindele, 96, 101. I don't remember watching that game because, I was not a huge soccer fan back then. But, looking back on it,
I think if I remember, it might not be the game I'm remembering, but I scored like a terrible goal in overtime once when I was like exhausted, falling over, kicked the ball, and it like somehow bounced in. So it might have been that game. But they
the
all count the same, like now you look back and all you see is goal. So a goal's a goal.
yeah, that game though, that game was an interesting game. There's a lot of guys in that starting lineup I'm looking at right now that I do not recognize. Uh,
Yeah,
but we also still had Justin Rennicks, one friendly face over in I think it's like Sweden or no, it's like Norway. I don't know, somewhere up there. Brad Knighton still was on the team. We still had Teal Bunbury. We had some players right there.
yeah, we did have some players. Carlos Hill was a player in the number 22.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Uh, what a time to be alive. Um, yeah, so Red Bull haven't really picked up form. They've been all right, just not amazing. Um, I've got a few guys to watch for. I kind of split time between these two guys. Valencia at fullback or Sofo at winger. Sofo's coming out of nowhere. He scored like on his debut, then got injured, but like he came out of nowhere now has 5 goals. And then Valencia, I who we talked about earlier on in the season when we were talking about the Red Bull game. He was on international duty with Panama, so we didn't get to see him play. He now has 5 assists at fullback.
yeah.
These dudes are performing, and not it's not too bad. Raphael, who you got?
I want to bring up, I think, the same two players I brought up when we initially played Red Bull at home. I want to first bring up Eric Choupo-Moting, obviously, coming from Europe, played for all the big teams, PSG, Bayern Munich. So obviously he has that experience so far this season, 11 goals, 1 assist. It's what you want to see from a striker. Even if he's, not the youngest striker, a little older in his age, still playing really well. 11 goals is what you want to see. So I mean, if you're really playing, that performance, that's good for your team, not good for us. Hope he doesn't score against us. And I think I'm confident in our game against New York Red Bulls. But I also want to bring up another player. I want to bring up, let's see, Emil Forsberg, who has been, in my opinion, their best player so far this season. 7 goals, 4 assists. So he has not as many goals as Choupo-Moting, but he plays sometimes that cam role, but he's can really play anywhere up in the attack and just a really solid player. We got to watch out for him.
Yeah, very very dangerous player, both of them. But Choupo-Moting, 11 goals, 1 assist, like you said. He's been very good this year.
Yeah,
Um,
both coming from Europe, so both high profile players.
yeah. Tesha, who you got to highlight for Red Bull?
I'll take a third option and highlight their stadium because that's one of the best stadiums to play in, especially like they pack it out every once in a while, but it's a beautiful stadium. Like it has kind of a semi dome over the top, so when it's loud in there, it feels great. Grass is great. So my player to watch is that stadium. If they get it bumping, it feels good in there.
Yeah,
I think the New York teams, or they're in New Jersey, but I feel like over in I'm moving over to NFL right now. Buffalo with their new stadium coming soon. I feel like that's gonna do something when they play on Sundays. It's supposed to have like a somewhat domed roof. Not like big time domed, but like they have crazy fans who are already loud. That's gonna give them a bump. At the Minnesota United game I went to yesterday, they had it was like a roof canopy just over the stands. That supporter section was phenomenal, and so the fans are an incredible factor, and I really like that you pointed that out. So stadium and fans, like they go hand in hand right there. Beautiful stadium, and you know, there makes a difference.
It does make a difference for sure.
I'm gonna start with my prediction. I'm gonna go with. I was trying to think of who's gonna score for the Revs. 'Cause you know who's gonna score for Red Bull. We're not gonna get a clean sheet, if anything. But they've also been inconsistent, but they are a playoff team. I think it's gonna be closer, and I think we do squeak out a win. Um, I'm gonna give it. Um, I'm gonna think our defense holds strong, even though we are missing Mamadou Fofana for that match with yellow card accumulation. I do think that we still win this match 1-0 off the back of I'm gonna give Campana a goal. I'm gonna hope to see him get going. So I'm gonna give 1-0 to Campana. I just spelled his name wrong. Capama. Um, but Campana's gonna score for me for that Red Bull match. Raphael, who you got?
I'm gonna agree with you. I was gonna say the same thing. I'm gonna say 1-0 win, compound goal. I think he gets that victory. I mean, for him and for us, I think we are solid. Defensively, I don't think we'll let them score. We did end up winning 2-1 last time, thanks to a last second penalty by Carlos Hill, but I think we end up winning 1-0. I think we get the victory. I think Campana scores. Also, bring up Fofana. Did you I don't know if you guys have seen his do you see his haircut recently?
Almost.
Fofana? He had like a whole shave
Yeah.
from what I saw. Interesting, interesting. Hopefully it brings out Fofana for the start of the season when I thought that's when he was at his best. So just wanted to bring that up quickly.
Tesho, who you got for or what's your prediction for that match?
I'm gonna give you guys 3-0 goals by Campana, Langoni, and then my guy Maxi Urruti, who I played with a lot in Dallas. We played together for a few years. He's a great player and a great person. So 3-0, you guys start catching some momentum, and then it's everyone's off to the races from there. Get all the guys who need some goals, get them some goals.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
that would be the result we all need. I would love that result. All those goal scores as well. I mean,
Be
this
great.
yeah,
this newfound information about Rudy playing with you over down in Dallas. What time I I've had people come on the podcast say he was brought in for vibes in the locker room. What are the vibes like with Maxi Rudy in the locker room?
Hey, he's like a very happy, bubbly person, like listening to music, dancing, like always smiling. I never saw him say a bad word to anyone. No one said a bad word about him. He's a great guy. We won the Open Cup together in
Yeah.
FC Dallas, and he scored in the finals. It might have been, did we beat New England Revolution? We might have played the Revs in the finals, and that was probably 2016. Yeah, that's before you guys were paying attention to soccer, probably, but.
yeah.
I think 2016, we with FC Dallas won Open Cup. Rudy scored in the finals against the Revs, and we won. He might have scored two even.
Oh
It's
my
like
God,
4-2 or something.
you're right. It's 4-2
Yeah,
against the Revs. Man, that was
yeah.
that was
So I was there. I was there. I lived
yeah,
it.
that was great.
Yeah.
I'm going to that now. I'm not even on FOMO anymore. Um, yeah,
But
Rudy with 15 and 61. Matt Hedges, who's still kicking around the league, and then Mauro Diaz on a 45 plus 7 penalty. We had Juan Agudelo playing for us. Um, we had Chris Tierney, Kai Kamara at that time. Um, yeah,
Rudy also has like to me the coolest celebration. His bow and arrow celebration is just the best, and he
Yeah.
he does it like so smoothly. So love that guy. He's a great guy
I hope to see more goals. I want to see more of that bow and arrow.
for sure.
Yeah.
Me too.
Script turned off. Got distracted there.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we'll move on from there to the Orlando match. So we played them Saturday.
Before you would start on that, Raphael,
Yeah.
got a question for you, Tesho. You played for Orlando. How do we beat Orlando?
Man, Orlando, to me, they have one of the best teams in the league right now. Their players are just like their roster is stacked. A lot of really good players. I would just say, honestly, the way you beat them, I think, is if they just don't play up to their potential because they have a really good team. And I'm biased because like I love, I played with Orlando. My friends are there. The coach, the GM, I love those guys. So I think you guys are gonna have a hard time beating Orlando, honestly.
That's unfortunate.
Honestly, I agree. I think Orlando has a great
They
team.
have a
So
great team. They have a
yeah,
lot of really good players on their team.
Yeah,
They're solid. Like every position, they're deep. The bench is deep. Like they have a really good team right now.
yeah,
yeah,
they're a very good team. Last time you had Ojeda, he scored a hat trick. Um, yeah, um, they've been
yeah.
semi.
Last time I had to score a hat trick versus us in that previous game, which ended 3-3, which was a great game to watch. I just want to say that that was a great
Yeah,
game. Hopefully, we get that entertainment because that's what it's all about.
you should have. I remember me and Raph were on a text chain. We were just like, I was watching the game. I texted him, because I think it was like we went up 2-0, in that game where Ojeda scored a hat trick, and then you guys came back and it was like 2-1. We're like, shoot, 2-2. God. And then I think you guys took the lead, and we were just like, I do want to turn this game off.
3-3 is it's a great result for everybody. Nice,
Yeah,
lots of goals. Exciting for the fans.
Yeah.
I have to agree on that 100%.
It's
Um,
yeah.
yeah,
They've had some form. They were unbeaten from March 15th to May 18th. Isn't a small stretch all through April. Mid-March to mid-May. Not a bad stretch right there. They lost three of the next four after that. Two wins and then a draw to Cincy. No, a draw to Charlotte and a loss to Cincy. Um, they dropped 3 points to Montreal this past Saturday, when they had an 83rd minute penalty. Um, but yeah, they do play NYCFC midweek. So both of us playing New York teams. Um, or they're playing New York, we're playing New Jersey. Close enough. Um, yeah, they've got a really good team. And yeah. Uh
yeah.
I've got Cesar Araujo to highlight. 2 goals, 3 assists from center defensive midfield. Just like Yusuf, although Yusuf hasn't gotten those goals or assists. Um, he's been a great player. And yeah, defensive midfield maestro right there. Um, hopefully he doesn't give us too big of a problem, but he's definitely a tough player to get around. Raph, who you got?
I have Martin Ojeda, obviously scored a hat trick against us. That's 3 goals. Nothing to take lightly. Last game, I mean, this season, I think, in my opinion, he's been one of the best players to watch in the league. Not just, the goals that he scores, but I like, his style, how he plays. He has 10 goals, 7 assists. That's 17 goal contributions in 22 games, 19 that he started. So that's, my opinion, really, yeah, not just, and I think that should be any football fan's opinion. I think that's great, 100%. Hopefully, not just hopefully, we need to make sure he can't score because if not, he's going to take advantage of us again. Our defense, we can't have him score a hat trick against us again. So it's not something I want to see, but player we definitely have to look out for. And I also want to bring up, let's see, Luis Muriel. So far this season, let's see, he has 6 goals, 4 assists, so 10 goal contributions. He's come from Atalanta. There we go. I'm not going to say Atlanta. I did that last time. It's come from Atalanta. So, obviously, again, player come from Europe, always someone you want to, treat with, the authority that they have. He's just, great player and we got to look out.
Yeah, they've like Luis Muriel is always. I've highlighted him last time. He's gonna give you a tough time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tesho, you used to play with these guys, so who you got?
Yeah, I think Ojeda is a good shout. I think he's a good example of what I was saying earlier, where he came into the club and he was maybe a record transfer in like a couple years ago. Didn't do that great, but they just kept running him out, like game in, game out until finally, like now, he found his form. He's a good player, and it was just helpful for him to just have that time and space to get something going. And then also, I'll give a shout out to Alex Freeman playing right back. He's a monster, this kid. Like I bet within if not by the end of this year, summer next year, he's gonna get a massive transfer to Europe. I bet he's an unbelievable player. So I would watch out for him. He streaks up the sideline. They kind of push him high sometimes. He's got assists, he's causing problems, he's a solid defender. He's
Yeah.
he's a really good player and he has like a really bright future. Just played every game of the Gold Cup with the US. I think he was the youngest player ever to start every game at the Gold Cup, so really bright future for him.
He's only 20.
20 years old. He got signed when I was there. He was like 17 or something, and he came out to practice. What are you guys are like 16?
15,
With
yeah.
15? Yeah. So he was maybe 16, 17, came out to practice and was just unreal, so good. And I was like, man, this kid is going places. Finally this year he kind of started finding his form, but he's a absolute baller.
Yeah. You can it's a dangerous player to watch. I'm gonna be biased towards Peyton Miller, say he's the better player. Younger. I think he's better. But I'm also a Revs fan and a big Peyton Miller fan. So I'm gonna be very biased here.
I love that. I love that.
Um, I'm gonna predict scores. I have this the other game up. I think Ojeda scores. I think Muriel scores, and I think Araujo scores, and I think we lose 3-2.
Whoa.
High scoring game, yes, but I think we unfortunately lose. So I'm gonna give it 3-2. Um, and then for the Revs, I need to get these right. I really want donuts. Um,
Yeah, yeah. We have
but
this thing, if we get the predictions right, we get donuts. So we always got to focus on when we focus on this
I
because
like
the
that.
team ends up getting donuts when they get clean sheets. But this is we get donuts if we predict the score correct.
I like
Uh,
that.
yeah,
it's happened, I
so
think, once or twice. So
yeah,
not too good of a record.
but hey, it's
Yeah,
I'm not going after betting lines or anything, so
yeah.
I'm I'm doing too well. Um, I'm gonna give Kyle Seal a goal on this one, and I think I think Eli Feingold's gonna be back. I'm gonna give Feingold the goal.
Okay.
I really hope he's back. He is a very good player.
No,
And
he's a great player. Same with Peyton Miller. So, hopefully they make it back. I'm gonna go for my game. Not for my game, for the game. I think my prediction is going to be a 2-1 victory for the Revs. I think we win. I think Ojeda scores, but then I think Campana, after that goal that I predict he's gonna get earlier in the week, I think he's gonna score a brace as well. So I think he gets that form back. I think he scored. We win 2-1. Campana with a brace, and hopefully that's how we get the form going to make this push for the playoffs.
I'm
Nice.
playoffs. Who you got?
All right, I hate to predict a loss for you guys, but I've got to show my bias with Orlando. So I'm gonna go 2-1 Orlando. I think Campana's gonna score for you guys, and I think so he's gonna continue his form after scoring versus New York. And then I think Ojeda and Enrique for Orlando. I like Enrique. He's scrappy, man. He just gets after it. He's a really aggressive player. His style is a lot like mine, where he's just hustle, energy, create chaos, and then finish the ball when you can. So I like him, and I think he deserves a goal here.
Yeah.
He's a dangerous player, and then obviously having Muriel as well. Dangerous 1-2 punch up top right there.
Yeah.
Um, Thoughts from viewers. These are two comments we've got from the Inter Miami match. I put our post yesterday night, but I'm also an hour behind you guys. So by the time I put this out, it was midnight, and it is still only 9 a.m. Um, I actually got another comment, so I'll read that as well. Is there any rationale for keeping playoff hopes alive at this point? I would not bet on it at this point. From Paulo S. I'm going to keep my playoff hopes alive. We've talked about it a few times during
Same.
this. Um, I think there's still a chance. Um, I think we could pick up four. But we're it's tough right now.
Yeah,
Really hoping we
agreed. We
can
have to find a form. But I think we do keep our hopes alive. I think if we lean towards if we're still the same form like September, then I think we got to be real, but still want to give us hope. And it's not just hope. I do think we have a real chance of making the playoffs.
yeah.
You
Um,
guys, you guys are only 4 points behind with a
Yeah,
game and a
yeah.
game back from Charlotte, for example. So, I mean,
Like we're right there. We
you're
just
right
need to
there. A
pick up
lot, a
more
lot
form.
of teams make playoffs, so I
Yeah,
think
more
it's
than half the
very
league.
much within reach.
I've said this a few times. But I don't think I've said it on the podcast yet. We're kind of the best of the bad. Like bottom of the East, but we are like what is it, a good few points ahead of DC behind us,
Yeah.
whatever it is. We're a good few points ahead of them, so we're like right there, but we are that gap between bad and we are and playoffs. So there's easily still a chance that we, you know, make the playoffs. And then Revs Wolves, you guys still high on Beeson. After that first match, not really. After that second match, a little bit more. But Tanner Beeson,
I still think one mistake doesn't sum up a player.
I do know.
Just because he makes one mistake doesn't mean we all go down and oh, this guy stinks, he sucks, One mistake happens. Hopefully we don't see it again, but I still do think he's a great player. I want to share a quick story. When we had a Revs event
I was about
and
to say
we
this.
went up for the signings of the players, and Tanner Beeson he was wearing a cast because he was still getting a little better. He was still playing with the cast. So I went up to him, and he was signing my scarf, which I have in the background right over there. And then I was like, "Dude, you got to get better." And it was a pause, and it sounds really bad, but I was implying his arm. So I was like, "Oh, your arm," and he's like, "Oh, okay," because it sounds like I'm like, "You got to get better," which is not at all. I'm a really big fan of his, so
That
I
is
just
the
wanted to
moment.
share that quickly.
That is the moment that Tanner Beason's confidence shattered because of a 15-year skit. But yeah, we love Tanner Beason on here. Yeah. Um, I'm still high on Beason. I think he's been great. He's definitely not the greatest MLS center back. Um, I think there's definitely room for improvement, but he's a good player. But I think we could upgrade there. But he is a good player, so I'm still high on him. And then from Cameron Benefit, who we'll have on in a little bit. Do you guys think it's time for a formation change? This three at the back has many, many gaps, which creates chances for other teams. I think the three at the back is still doing its thing. Um, it hasn't done us it hasn't done us too poorly yet. Yes, it has its flaws, but earlier on in the season when we were running a what is it 4-2-3-1, we were nowhere near this level, and then we switched and we were much better.
Yeah.
So I still like the formation change. I'm still in favor of it. So I like the three at the back. Um, yeah. Um, Tesha, I do have one question. This isn't really podcast related, but you went to the Colorado School of Mines, correct?
Yep.
There we go. Um, what was it like? You were a first round MLS draft pick. What's it like going from, Colorado to then Dallas in the super draft? Like, what was that whole like moment like?
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I was in Division two. The school of mine is a Division two school, and I had a good college career, scored lots of goals, won lots of awards and stuff. But still, like, not a lot of Division two guys make it to MLS, other than the great Wondolowski, greatest goal scorer of MLS all time. He was D2. But so, I played good. I didn't know if I would make it pro. So I withdrew from school, just like hoping that I could make it before I knew anything was going to happen. So I withdrew from school. I was training like in the snow in Colorado by myself. And then luckily, like back then they did the combine. So I got invited to the combine. Let's say in December, they called me and said, you can go to the combine in January. I was excited about that. Did well at the combine. Then the draft came around, and like I didn't know if I'd get drafted, so I was at home for the draft. I was there with like my girlfriend, who's my wife now, and my friends, my college teammates, my parents and stuff, and ended up getting drafted first round. So it was crazy, and then went from thinking like, oh man, I don't know if I'm going to get drafted to you get drafted first round. Dallas calls you, and they're like, all right, you got to be in Dallas in 2 days. So it's like, bang, you go from you don't know if you're going to play soccer to first round draft pick, moved to Dallas in 2 days, and so it's a whirlwind. But amazing, and I feel unbelievably lucky that I was able to do that, and then have a 9 year career after that. So it was great.
Yeah, as Bad mentioned, you carved out a nice 9-year career for yourself. Played for both Dallas and then you went over to Orlando to end off your career. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, Raph, you got anything else to add?
Now, I just want to, first of all, thank you for being on here. Great, yeah, great player, great career, and as from what I've seen, talking to you right now, great person. So
Yeah,
thank you.
I appreciate that. And thank you guys for doing this, man, because covering MLS, like it's not glorious, at least right now, but I think the soccer community needs more kids like you guys or whatever, more people just covering the game with passion and with positivity too. I really like, the positive take that you guys have on your team, and I think there's room for more of that in the kind of fan culture in America. Just like more positivity, more like supporting the team than always criticizing the team. So I appreciate the way you guys are approaching it.
yeah, we appreciate that. Yeah, thank you for coming on here. This has been amazing. Make sure you go follow Tesho Akindele over on Twitter at Tesho13. Um, And then please follow us at any pod. That's the old one.
Yeah,
We
that's
are
the old one.
Foxboro Fortress. Please follow us on Foxboro Fortress over on YouTube. Fox's Fortress. Make sure you're subscribed. Spotify, same deal. Make sure you're following. Comment or DM us with any questions or comments. Thanks to Leading Lights LLC again for sponsoring this podcast. And we should be back with another episode next Monday. This was
Foxboro's Fortress.